discovery of an extraterrestrial biological entity affect our obligations to future generations? Rawls and many others have addressed justice between generations. Again, this was also not mentioned by the previous speaker. It's an ancient concept, and many cultures and traditions hold that we, those living in the present, have a moral obligation and duty to humans yet unborn to leave the earth in as good a condition as we find it. But this is where the potential discovery of extraterrestrial biological entities may provide a very unique situation that Rawls and others didn't anticipate. As I suggested previously, could Rawls' original position include not only humans of future generations, but non-humans as well? And might our obligations to future human generations be expanded to include future generations of other species and the extraterrestrial biological entities I've described? What constitutes future human generations is changing, and changing rapidly. Our descendants, perhaps within a few generations, will no longer necessarily be limited to a traditionally defined Homo sapiens. Rather, our species is becoming less distinct and singular as techniques allowing artificial sharing of genomes among species, xenotransplantation, or using non-human biological materials in humans, such as pig valves and malfunctioning hearts, mechanical and cybernetic augmentation, as these shatter the singular definition of human. If we were to encounter these entities 5 or 10 generations from now, we may not recognize them as human, and it may not matter that they aren't. Added to this, next, as we encounter extraterrestrial biological entities, how might these theories be adapted to provide guidance in our obligations that include a diversity of humans Rawls did not likely imagine, extraterrestrial species, or even systems such as landscapes? The ongoing search for extraterrestrial life on Mars or elsewhere in the solar system provides an ideal opportunity to explore the issues of ethical obligations in a fresh and relatively uncontroversial manner. And using the product of such discussions, we can better reconsider definitions of what it means to be human and our concepts of participation as part of universal life itself. But we must ask these questions and work towards their resolution prior to discovery of any life anywhere else. Should we leave the question unanswered, Earth's conflicting and often indefensible ethical standards may become universal. And now the two words everyone is waiting for: in conclusion. Much of the discussion during this conference focuses on concepts of our various possible futures in space exploration and exploitation, our shared visions of what those alternatives may require, and their potential to further human goals. We are imagining fantastic physical structures and architectures, engineering projects on other planets that dwarf anything ever attempted on Earth, innovation and amazing new knowledge in physics, chemistry, and engineering. Yet in these bold new extraterrestrial environments, we tend to visualize ourselves as a species, as Homo sapiens, largely unchanged, next, in our ways of thinking and our ways of acting. If we initiate exploration, next, colonization and exploitation of other worlds without also rethinking our relationship with those worlds and all that they offer, biological as well as physical, we will have missed a great opportunity for philosophical advancement as well as technological advancement, and a chance to redefine what it means to be human. In the closing scene of Arthur C. Clarke's 2010, next, all the message sent to humanity by an extraterrestrial intelligence is an invitation. Next. All these worlds are yours except Europa. Use them together. Use them in peace. I would hope the author meant us to consider the term together was broader than just a reference to peoples of the earth, and included all life, all extraterrestrial biological entities. That we use them in peace is an enlightening and novel concept with that inclusion. I stress that the purpose of this proposal is not to argue or campaign for or against equal rights among all living entities, including microbes, or to extend rights to the rocks they might live on. Rather, it is to propose that the very plausible discovery of extraterrestrial biological entities within the next few decades provides the opportunity and perhaps even an obligation to reconsider human relationships with the biological universe we share. Next. So that, I am 1 minute of 4 by my watch. So, but I would like to take questions. Yes?
Yeah. It's difficult to apply roles to non-rational beings because the whole idea is how you feel if you end up in that situation, or how you feel if you ended up being a bacterium. I mean, that question doesn't make much sense. See, although I think...
Well, it breaks the paradigm of thinking of humans as somehow separate from the natural world.
I don't think so. You could do roles with the natural world, but you still have to be thinking of beings that are rational beings. You cannot do it with bacteria, you cannot do it with snakes and so on.
Because you're saying they are not rational.
Yes, that's right. So, I mean, at least beings that would have feelings about the situation, they have some idea of what it would be like. The second problem that you will have in trying to apply to extraterrestrials that do know anything about is that when you use roles system, you imagine all the possible roles that people could play, and then you say, how would you like this role to be defined, or how would you like that role to be defined? But you're talking about possible roles, and of course, this changes as time goes on and human experience encounters new different situations. But since we know absolutely anything about what the extraterrestrials may be like, then we have no idea what those roles are. So even using this system, if we ever find intelligent or even semi-intelligent beings that is using roles, may be the appropriate way to do it. By doing it beforehand, without knowing what they might be like, what kinds of roles we have to take into consideration, I don't really think you can use roles that way.
Yes.
Like, no matter how much we try to put ourselves in the shoes of the Martian microbe, the fact of the matter is that we are still biased by the fact that we are human beings. And so, no matter how philosophical you want to get about it, the fact of the matter is you're still going to make decisions based upon your past experience as a human being. So, can you ever really reach an equitable type of arrangement